Coach, I heard a little bit of Travis's podcast today. So he said he's confident. Momentum's going the right way with the offense. Did you feel like after halftime, and you came back and watched everything, you guys got some good things going and brighter days ahead, regardless of who's out there with the receivers and all?
Yeah, I thought it was better the second half, for sure. Yeah, ended on you end on a good note that way, but you got to build on that. So that's you're going against a good defense, so you got to make sure take care of business this week. Make sure we detail our work. Injuries for you. Everybody's going to practice today, so that's a positive. Look for the challenge of playing the Ravens. Good football team. We played them the last couple of years. We think they know us and we know them pretty much, so it should be a heck of a battle. And look forward to that challenge. Look forward to coming back here to Arrowhead and playing. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Coach, the play to Isaiah Pacheco, where he's kind of in the back, obviously something was going wrong. Can you kind of explain how he ended up behind, and are you trying for a lateral there, or did it just kind of get blown up by what the defense was?
Yeah, it was the release on it. Yeah, we weren't trying to, not once or twice, so we don't want that. But he was trying to chip on the tackle and got caught up in there, and it bumped him out too wide. So we'll fix that.
Have you seen enough from Xavier that the optimism level has grown for a return potentially this week?
Yeah.
How important is it just to see him in practice and being more than limited to get him out there on his
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just evaluate him and take it day by day, but he feels good, so we'll see.
How have you been going across just, this offense with, you had Taekwondo and Juju, and now you bring Xavier back, and then in the preseason you were doing it with Rashid. Just how have you guys just adjusted, basically week to week, having kind of...
Yeah, sure. I think one of the great things is that Pat's been able to get some game time with a couple guys that he didn't have a lot of game time with, between Hollywood and 80. So, I mean, I think it's a positive thing. And then when the other guys come in, then he's got experience with them. So I look at the production of the other two guys, Hollywood and Thornton, and I think that's a real positive for the team going down the road here.
Andy, I talked in the offseason about how you told him to throw deeper, but what does it say to you about him that he's gone out there and worked on it, and now he's doing it and has had success with it?
Yeah, well, we practiced it, so he could. You've got to practice that. The percentages go down on long balls anyways compared to the short intermediate game. So the further you go down the field, so you've got to put in the time there and practice it. And as coaches, we've got to make sure we give him an opportunity to do that before game time. So we spent a little bit more time with that, so it'd be part of the offense, and then he could get used to these guys, doing their routes.
Coach, I heard a little bit of Travis's podcast today. So he said he's confident. Momentum's going the right way with the offense. Did you feel like after halftime, and you came back and watched everything, you guys got some good things going and brighter days ahead, regardless of who's out there with the receivers and all?
Yeah, I thought it was better the second half, for sure. Yeah, ended on you end on a good note that way, but you got to build on that. So that's you're going against a good defense, so you got to make sure take care of business this week. Make sure we detail our work.
What are your thoughts about that Ravens defense? They're obviously not happy to be 1-2 either. Neither one of you thought you'd be right here, but what do you see from them in recent study on what they have defensively for you guys?
Yeah, well, he's a good one. So defensive coordinator, and he brings guys from all over when needed, and at the same time they play good sound defense. On top of that, they've got good players. I'm sure he'll have some change-ups from what he did with us last time, which is, we'll just have to adjust to it. So, but he does a nice job with that defense. He's got a lot of flexibility there with what he can do and with the players.
What do you expect from them? I mean, they got their backs to the wall. That's the way they approach it.
Yeah, sure. They're a tough football team. It should be a good, tough football game, and that's the way you prepare yourself. Sure.
Coach, Juwan had another penalty than the other night, and obviously it looks like that knee is an ankle injury has been an issue for him too. Is there any point where he might need a break, or do you still have complete confidence in his health and his status right
Yeah. You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So you know, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. You know, so I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there. I might be giving you a call. You're looking good.
Sorry?
Coach, there is a pretty big investment in that offensive line. Are you surprised it hasn't been more effective as far as getting the running game to be more efficient? Or I know there's a lot of factors that go into it, but
Yeah.
they're part of the equation.
Yeah, so I thought this past week was one of their better games. Yeah, so I thought they came together there and did some good things, run game and pass. Yeah.
Steve?
Coach, Juju has been pretty consistent for you guys, kind of flown under the radar a little bit. What does he bring to the
Yeah, he's great in the room as a leader, good man, you know, and works hard, does things the right way. He's not afraid to speak up when he sees something, which is great for the young guys to hear. And then he's a good football player. He understands space. Big body. He's not afraid to go anywhere on the football field or anybody. So that's his benefit there.
Yeah, no, I think just with the guys that we have, I've kind of put it on myself to give guys chances down the field. And even though we haven't performed offensively as a whole, I think the entire year so far as efficient and scoring points the way we want to, we've kind of made an emphasis to give guys chances down the field to make plays, and guys have made those plays. And so that started in training camp, that started in OTAs. Is like I told guys to hold me accountable, and I wanted to hold myself accountable that I give the guys the chances to make plays, and they're proving that they can make them.
How's it feel to wind up now? I mean, you got a lot more of the big wind-up throws.
Yeah, I mean, it's still something that I have to continue to get better and better at. I think that there's more opportunities to make these plays in the games in these first few weeks, but I think it just gives me the confidence when guys like Tyquan come down with the catch that he did, that I can keep forcing the ball down the field and let them try to make plays. And we'll continue to get better and better at that, as well as with the rest of the offense. But, I mean, it's always super exciting when you get a chance to throw the ball down the field.
Patrick, you've always done what next man up with the receiving corps. Over the course of your career, you've had to deal with that a lot. Just this year, you practice a lot with Rasheed and St. Joe, and then you go on, and now Tyquan's leading, Hollywood's letting Brazil. Just how have you been able to maintain each receiver that comes up, or each receiving unit that you have for that available that day, make sure that you keep firing, keep within the system? Some of those guys have to mix and match sometimes within their own system.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's things here and there that you have to work on, but I think more than anything, the guys are putting in the work during the week. And so I think for us, at the end of the day, whenever we start getting these guys back like Xavier and Rasheed when he gets back, it's going to make us even better because guys had to step up, and they've stepped up and made plays. And you've seen Hollywood, you've seen Juju, you've seen Tyquan all step up into their roles and have even bigger roles within the offense. And so we'll continue to get better and better as the season goes, but it'll be an important week this week.
Patrick, you mentioned Juju. He's kind of on the radar a little bit, but being pretty consistent. What's he mean for that wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the leader of those guys, man. I mean, he's someone who's been there and done it. You know, he's won the Super Bowl. He's had big 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He's kind of been in all different types of offenses, and so he can be that guy that they can lean on. They can ask questions to, and then I think he does a great job when his number gets called in the game to make the plays happen, and being available whenever I need someone to throw to, and has a good feel for the defenses and what the defenses are presenting. And so he's someone that's super important to that room just in general, but he stepped up whenever we needed him to these first few weeks and made plays happen.
Before last game, you described the offense as close. As you reviewed, what signs in the second half did you see that maybe it's even getting closer to what you wanted?
Yeah, I think just the execution. You know, we cleaned up our execution. I got the ball out. I made the right decisions, made the right throws. I think that's the most important thing. Is like just making the throws. You know, making the throws whenever they're there, getting the ball out of my hand, letting guys make plays happen. And I did that in the second half. And I mean, the only drive that we didn't score was the one that I missed Tyquan. So I mean, it just proves that if you make the throws, that the offense can be productive and can have the progress that we want. I just got to go out there and make the plays happen.
Patrick, I know you've been blitzed more than you typically have, and what's that been like, and what's the adjustment like?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see that we're able to throw the ball down the field a little bit more now because of that. But I think it's just it's a product of the teams that we played and them testing our young offensive linemen. But I think our offensive line have done a great job of picking up those blitzes and giving me opportunities. And that's why you've been able to see some of these deep shots down the field. And you got to be able to execute and showcase that you can hit those throws. And if you do that, they'll adjust, and then we have to adjust as well. And so that's what's beautiful about the NFL is you have to be able to adjust on the fly and make things happen.
You get together with the coaches on, the night and go through the plays that are there. Andy gives you input. I mean, how much do you take out or put in, and how much is really your choice on what plays end up going into the actual game?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Reid gives me kind of free roam. If I don't like plays, to tell him. He'll take them out of there, and we do a good job. They communicate with me throughout the week. I mean, it starts yesterday or even the day before on Monday. Of just kind of talking about stuff that they're thinking about, and then I communicate kind of what I'm seeing, and then I trust in Coach Reid that he's going to make the game plan the way that he has done for a long time now, and he always makes great ones. And so I think more than anything is trusting in him and then telling him whenever I'm not feeling the play that I'm not feeling.
Has it evolved over time? I mean, when you first got here, everything's a pass, everything's wide open, and maybe now you're a little more cerebral in what you're picking out? Or?
Stuff evolves for sure just because I've seen more and more defenses and know the team more and more and know what we're trying to do. I think more than anything, I think the trust that he has with me has gotten even more and more just throughout the years. And a lot of those times, especially when I go to the sideline there before like a timeout or kind of like the review with the taekwondo play, and then we talk about it, and I tell him a play that I like, he'll call it, and he has that trust in me that I'm seeing it right out on the football field, and he gives me the chance to go out there and make it happen.
What kind of boost is it to have Rasheed back in the building?
It's huge, I think just having a guy that you work with every single week, all training camp, all off season, and then having him back in the building, he always has a smile on his face, and you can tell the guys, they like him. And kind of like Juju, he's kind of been one of those guys that's been here, and he's won the Super Bowl, and even though he's young, he can kind of be a leader for those guys in the room of how we work and how we get after things. And so obviously you can't practice, but he can be in the meetings and listen to the stuff that we're working on, and it definitely gives a boost to the whole receiving room and the whole offense.
Veteran guys in the league now, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but you spend a lot of time in between the games or talking to the referees. I just wonder what's your conversations like with the referees, and what are those back and forth nature in the middle of a game?
Yeah, I think more than anything, they're just communicating different things that you're seeing, and you might ask kind of like the alignment stuff or like the motion type things and the timings and stuff like that, just to making sure that we're doing everything the right way and doing everything the way that we're supposed to. And so that's stuff that we continue to get better and better at, but just keeping an open dialogue because those guys are trying to make the game go as smoothly as possible and want us to go out there and let the players dictate the game. And so we try to just have that open communication with them, and I think that's kind of like every QB in the league is that you have those communications like that.
You guys ran the ball a little more efficiently with the running backs this past week, and as we watched the Ravens on Monday, they were a little susceptible to the run maybe. I mean, I know it's cat and mouse every week. It's going to be a little bit different here and there, but do you feel like the run game has some momentum and can be a bigger part of, having success and balancing everything out?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be balanced. I mean, I think every team in the NFL does, and I thought this last week we did a better job of running the ball, and I thought the offensive line did a good job of doing the run blocking together and the chemistry building between them. And I know that you saw Monday night at the Ravens, but they're a prideful group, man. I don't think they're going to be very happy with the film, and they're going to come out with the mentality of stopping the run. So it'll be a great test for us. And so it'll be able to go up there and be able to run the football and then be able to pass off of it will be important to us. Stay balanced and go up against a team that's going to be as hungry as we are. So it'll be a great football game this weekend.
Matt, how much, Patrick, in the last 3 games, and especially in the second half, have you felt that, you talked about the offensive line and the job they've been doing in pass protection, that you've been allowed the ability to push your eyes downfield and maybe look for some of those targets? Do you feel that increasing in your trust in that ability?
100%. I mean, I think that's been huge. This last defensive line that we played had all type of first rounders, all type of talent, and I thought the offensive line did a great job of giving me time to throw the ball down the field. And it's my feet, you tell, are a little bit more calm because I understand that these guys can can protect and they can give me time to make these throws, and I'll continue to get better and better at that, and try to make some of these throws more accurate down the field, and instead of hitting 1 to 2 a game, making that 3 to 4 and then 5 to 6, and then defense will back up and it'll help us out with other stuff within the offense. And so I'm just excited for where this offense is going. I know it hasn't been the perfect product that we've put out there so far, but there's a lot of good too.
The last three, Nick, Turin, and then Vi. Go ahead, Nick. Patrick, with the Ravens offense that you're going against that can hang 30 to 40 without a problem, how do you approach this week with your teammates and from an execution perspective and mentality-wise?
Yeah, I think for us, we got to start faster. I think every game we've kind of said that we haven't really got to do that. And we were moving the ball early in the game last week, but we're settling with field goals. And when you play teams that are really good and have dynamic quarterbacks like the Ravens do, you got to turn those into touchdowns. And that will not only put pressure on them, but it unleashes Spags to be able to do what he wants to do. And you always see when we get leads, it's like he's great. He's a great finisher. He's a great closer of being able to give you different looks and stuff like that. And so we got to take pressure off our defense and put pressure onto them by starting faster, and we can be better at that this week.
The play where the ball goes backwards to Isaiah Pacheco, is that in your head? You know he's there, and you're just looking to flip it out there, and as you turned around and the moment of having to get it out, there's almost like, whoa, you try to pull it back as you're letting it go. Like, just what was going through your head as that is evolving?
Yeah, I mean, I got to see where I'm throwing before I throw it. We had called a play, and you don't want those short completions in that 2-minute type tempo, and so you kind of take the incompletion, and so I kind of had went to burn it at his feet. And then seeing him as I was throwing it, obviously he was backwards, and that's why I knew immediately when I threw it. But you got to just see the guy before you throw it there. Obviously, I'm trying to throw it out to him in the flat and everything like that, but I got to see where he's at. He's trying to chip and give me time to throw the ball down the field. And so luckily I was able to get the ball back, and then defense was able to get a huge stop for us there in the end of the half. But I got to be better at not just throwing it blindly, just kind of knowing where those guys are before I burn it at their feet.
Patrick, on the intermediate and deep passes, when you haven't connected, how much are you seeing passes you wanted back and versus maybe just a matter of communication?
I would say the one that I for sure wanted back was the post one before the half. I knew that when Taekwon won, I knew that the backside guy had gotten held by the route that we had, the backside safety, and so I could probably put that ball out further. I threw it more across the field, but with the leverage that the corner had, I wish I'd have thrown it further and let Taekwon just run underneath it, probably a touchdown if I do that. And then the one that was on the 3rd and short, it's kind of just more of a miscommunication, just knowing that I would want it. If I had more time, I could have sold it a little bit more, but it was a run play, so I didn't want Lyman downfield, and so I kind of wanted Taekwon's eyes back a little bit earlier, but he sees the open space, and so that's just communication stuff that we can work on, and he's in a bigger role in the stuff that he hasn't done before, and so that would be important. I mean, obviously we missed a touchdown, we still win the game. He'll learn from that. We'll hit next time we get the opportunity.
Through the opening 3 weeks of the 2025 campaign, one Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver has erupted into the spotlight, but the pressure on him to deliver will only grow heavier in the coming weeks. The shocking loss of Xavier Worthy almost instantly after the season kicked off left Chiefs Kingdom in turmoil, sparking endless speculation about who would rise to the challenge. With Rashee Rice suspended until Week 7 and Worthy's health hanging in dangerous uncertainty, one unexpected star has emerged in clutch. Emotional moments when fans needed hope most. Former second-round pick Taekwon Thornton has completely reimagined his career in Kansas City, transforming doubt into drama, resilience, and viral redemption. Once a forgotten talent with the New England Patriots, Thornton hasn't tasted this kind of success since his rookie year in 2021, when he appeared in 13 games and posted 247 receiving yards. Now, after just 3 thrilling games with the Chiefs, he has already electrified audiences by racking up 171 receiving yards, leaving fans and analysts breathless, wondering if destiny is calling him to rewrite the story of his career. Thornton made his presence felt in battles against the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 2, but it was his explosive breakout in Week 3 against the New York Giants that truly turned heads, even if that performance came against the Chiefs' weakest opponent so far. Now, the stage intensifies as Kansas City returns to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium for a high-stakes Week 4 clash with the Baltimore Ravens, a team widely feared as one of the biggest threats to the Chiefs' AFC crown. The Ravens may be staggering from a crushing loss to the Detroit Lions, but they remain a dangerous powerhouse when lining up against Patrick Mahomes and his arsenal of weapons, making the matchup feel like a cinematic collision of giants. Even with Baltimore entering at a fragile 1-2 record, their playoff pedigree looms large, branding them as the third brutal test Kansas City has been forced to endure in just the first 4 weeks of this dramatic 2025 season. Thornton may still need to deliver a true breakout performance against a playoff-caliber opponent before the Chiefs can confidently label him a legitimate wide receiving threat this season. While no one can dismiss the impact he's already made in an expanded role, his recent history proves Kansas City must demand more consistency to truly believe in his rise. The past 2 seasons in New England were far from inspiring, as he suited up for 15 games across that span, yet failed to eclipse even 100 receiving yards in either year, leaving fans doubting his long-term ceiling. Touchdowns were rare as well, but his trademark speed remains the X factor that could finally rewrite his career narrative if unleashed at the right moment. Now, with the Baltimore Ravens on deck and the Detroit Lions looming right after, Thornton's ability to sustain his momentum will be tested under the brightest lights yet.